Hey guys, Fire here from InDepth Gaming and bringing you another game review. This time we're checking out Caverns of Mars Recharged. This game is developed by Sneaky Box Studios, published by Atari, and released on March 9th, 2023 for a price of $10. So what is Caverns of Mars Recharged and what is the Recharged kind of brand with a lot of these Atari games anyway? So this is kind of like re-released. They've been doing this for like Missile Command and a few other games, and I'm hoping to see even more of them come in the future, where they go through and give us an updated visual graphic experience and a little bit more to the game. So let's talk about the game. There's two modes: arcade mode here, where you can play single player or local multiplayer, where you can also adjust like various little bonuses that can impact your score. And there's also missions. You can run through all these missions by yourself or with other players to complete challenges and also track your achievements along the way. So what is Caverns of Mars? It's basically, if you ever heard of like an endless runner, it's actually an endless faller. It'd be the kind of what I would describe it. You're basically constantly falling, and the only way you can control your ship is by shooting your gun to, stay up and slow your momentum or descent, or, navigate with your analog stick to move around. You can't use your D-pad from what I've noticed, but it's not anything that's like too hard or too overly sensitive. You're just going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out the best ways to move with movement. You'll basically go through a few levels. Every time you complete a section of the course, you pick a bonus which gives you a benefit and generally also hurts you in some ways. So HP up gives us more health but cuts our fuel. Fuel is what we basically use to shoot our gun, which you see on the right side of the screen. You have a certain amount per run. And the various weapons you use the same fuel every time you shoot with them, but you only have that amount of fuel for that drop. And you're going to have to use that fuel to get through those areas where you have enemies, or maybe you get stuck in a pathway that you don't have enough space. Once you lose all your health on the left, for your total of your run is over, your score is calculated, and that is the end of the game. Now the game does introduce like more enemies and things that can try to kill you and hurt you along the way, as you'll see some of the enemies we start to experience differ along the way. But it's nothing that's too overly confusing or challenging. As the levels progress, there gets to be more difficult enemies or more hard to navigate courses, but nothing that really hurts you. As you can see here, we're starting to get lasers and some kind of kamikaze looking ships whose goals are to just kill us. But if you can maintain not taking damage and then moving around, you can build up a good weapon supply. But as you get to some of those later portions, the weapons you're going to face get very, very difficult to deal with. I would highly recommend looking at weapons that are, shotgun level type things, and also focusing on upgrades that give you a good balance between your health if you're struggling, but also the type of weapons that you have. I'm not a fan of the gun you're seeing me use here on screen, where it's kind of whichever direction I'm aiming, it shoots, as well as this giant laser. It's okay, but I feel like you can get much better weapons with the shotgun that you can more react with. So trying to focus on those specific weapon upgrades when you're playing will generally see you have a much better experience, at least from my gaming sessions with the game. Now, as you do damage and destroy areas, you'll build up points, but ultimately once you lose all your health, you are eliminated out, and that does end the game. Like I said, this is basically the main premise of the game. You try to go as far as you can. You can compete with online leaderboards, which is nice to see, so you can see how you rank against other players in the world. The game is kind of just now releasing, so not too many people on the leaderboards. I do want to point out that I am doing better than my friend Carnage, so suck it, Carnage. Shout out to his channel. Go subscribe to him if you haven't already. And then you can compare against your friends, and as well as, like I said, there's these missions where you just deploy on specific mission level things to try to get a certain amount of points or different objectives that the game teaches you. Generally on this game, most of the missions are just survive the level, so that's really what you're going to try to do, and it might just be a variety of different enemies that you have. Now, a lot of the achievements in this game are mainly just basically play our game and get to the end. And you can use these missions to grind out specific bosses and challenges that you need to do. So make sure to pay attention to what you need for those as you play the game, it will make your life a little easier. As you can see here, I did fail, but what you can do is go look at those achievements and see which types of enemies you need to target for those, and it makes completing this game not too overly difficult. You just need to complete all the missions and get through kind of all the environmental runs, which that's more the difficulty, is to get through the whole campaign run. Outside of that, as far as an opinion of Caverns of Mars Recharged and all the other Recharged games, I generally am a pretty big fan. They give a great nostalgic play, they play really well, look good, and they come in at a nice $10 price point for the most part. I think they're pretty fun and nice to pick up. Outside of that, if you have any questions, want to know more down below in the comments, please let me know. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, maybe become a member, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great rest of your day.